Are we doing this? Oh, we're live?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hello. Welcome back to Spooks, where we bring different groups of friends together, one story at a time. Let's go ahead and dive into R² MCK corner. It's charisma.
Raquel.
Raciel.
Woohoo!
You're gonna find a better name soon.
Yes.
We could
Uh,
be low-key the Musketeers. Okay. Yo, that's so embarrassing and we're live, bro.
Raquel, please start us off because you picked the book.
Guys, I have to go. A fire alarm.
How's it
so
back?
the book is Gray After Dark, and it's by Noelle W. Ihli, if I'm saying that correctly. I'm not sure. This is about a girl named Miley. She's in the Olympics, and she does the biathlons. If I honestly didn't know what it was, it's like skiing. And I guess at the end, you have to also like do like shooting, almost like a shooting contest as well. So it's like two things in one, basically. While she is done with like the Olympics, she takes time to herself. She has to work at a hotel slash camp. She goes there, she works, and a lot of things happen. A lot of things that was not expected. I was like very shocked.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so I read the hard copy. I had to buy it because unfortunately the library didn't have it by my house. I'm gonna just give it like a 4. Like I can't really give it a full on 5 because there's certain things that I was not expecting in the book.
I gave it a 1 because I read it on my Kindle, and I have many reasons as to why I gave it a 1, but we'll get into that later. I'll say what I liked. It's like inspired by true events. That part of the whole idea of the book was my favorite.
I read it on my phone. I feel like it was like a 3, just because I liked that it was descriptive. It was kind of scary to the point where I felt like I was there. There was some stuff that,
The biggest reason as to why I gave it a 1 is because it was the contents of the book, like the whole abduction and the abuse that the woman faced. It was so descriptive and so like detailed, and it was repeated over and over again to the point where I felt like the author didn't have to repeat it as much.
wait, repeat what?
The torture and abuse that the woman
Yeah.
went through, like that was too much. Why are you writing this? I don't know. It was just I wanted to stop so many times because I couldn't get through a lot of the stuff. It was just too graphic for me. The women were helpless. When I first got into reading it, I didn't expect it to be that way. I remember telling Raquel, "Oh, this is really slow. Like, oh, do you think it's gonna pick up? Is it gonna get better?" After that, for like another 30 chapters, 40 chapters, it was all descriptive details on the abuse that the women had to endure. It was just dehumanizing and all of that.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the point of the book, but I don't enjoy stuff like that.
I feel like I should give it a 2 now because the writing was better. Like I was going off of based on what we read before. But if going off based generally, it was just like it was pulling you, but it was like pulling you like too deep. Like sometimes you just needed to breathe a little. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm glad they like escaped and stuff too. I was reading somewhere that it was an event that happened to,
Oh yeah, she was inspired by the story of like an actual Olympian that went through
yeah.
that. I just didn't want to finish reading the book because of those types of things and because it went on for so long. It was the majority of the book. She's throwing at you details, getting like even deeper and deeper into the type of abuse that they went through. I understand she wanted to touch on that, but I feel like could have been a bit limited. Doing
Like
that,
forcing it, right? Forcing it down your throat in a
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Like
No,
so
it's true. I agree.
Yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. Towards the end, I found myself having an easier time getting through it when they
Yeah.
escaped and they were like trying to find a way to make Brent survive and all of that. That's when I
Yeah.
found myself, okay, I'm able to finish it because
yeah.
we're past all of that. But yeah,
I definitely agree with everything you guys said. This was a very hard book, but I will give the author credit. She captured how someone can feel when like something like this happens. You know, like
Right.
abduction wives. I would felt like I was in the book, honestly. I was like, oh my God, this is scary.
it could have been a lot shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's so crazy. Like last book we wanted more. This book we wanted not so much.
We're all over the place. Our emotions are
We
in
need to
cahoots.
find middle ground. I feel like there's a better
Yeah,
way to describe abuse in a way where a reader understands it but doesn't feel suffocated by it. You know what I mean?
that's true.
And
But it didn't feel like she was trying to bring awareness to it. I felt like she was just, I don't know how to say it, but putting these events to make it more tragic is how it felt
Yeah.
to me.
the one thing I did like though, was the main character. She didn't give up. There
Mm-hmm.
was points where she could have given up, but she just kept going. And that I'll say I found like inspiring, especially in that circumstance. Also, guys, Brent, I like that he was like, making an effort for his like,
Yo, Brent, I
um,
was like, yes.
yes. Who doesn't want to see someone go through whatever they have to go through for their best friend, have that willpower?
Yeah, I agree. Him and Wes, their part of the story was kind of what kept me going through the book. The fact that Wes didn't know her that much,
That
but he
ass.
he was so willing to help out, and he even got killed, which is insane.
But that broke my heart.
I don't have a favorite quote, but I do have a favorite part. It was after the whole Wes getting shot and he died, and then Brent was also shot. And it was just
Mm-hmm.
Brent and Wes lying on the ground, and Brent knows that Wes is dead. But then he sees Wes's soul talking to him
Mm-hmm.
and telling him to hold on, that she's there for you, that she's coming for you. That was my favorite part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really just like the relationships that she had with Brent and Wes. And also the escape scene. I liked it, but again, it was just a lot to get your head wrapped around.
The part of the book that I enjoyed the most was when Miley and Raina were like searching for the chicken. At some point, she just felt like there was no hope for Raina. I felt like she was gonna go and actually like knock her out so that she can
Mm-hmm.
just escape by herself. But I enjoy the fact that she looked at her and then if I do this to her right now, yes, I can escape. But what hope does she have? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was just a dark book. I felt like kind of nervous.
Yeah, it wasn't
No,
like
for
a
real.
thriller in a way that I expected it to be, especially
Mm-hmm.
seeing the cover. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was gonna take like
I
that
thought
turn.
it was gonna
Me
be like
neither.
I thought it was gonna be a mystery. Like I'm out here thinking like, okay, shorty, we gonna find a way. This felt like I was reading someone's like painful experience again and again and
Mm.
again. I think it's so important to talk about awareness about any type of abuse. This was so dark. Like there was nothing helping them throughout this whole thing.
It's just the way this was kind of like
Yeah.
exploiting
The
the
abuse.
idea of abuse for the sake of getting like more gory content for the book. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it. It didn't feel like she was bringing awareness to it.
Did y'all have nightmares?
I
Did
no,
y'all have no,
thank
honestly,
goodness.
Yeah, I didn't have nightmares. I just was very, very uncomfortable reading it. Like my skin was like, ugh, like,
mm-hmm.
oh my God, I don't want to read this. Like I don't see any use in finishing this book other than for this book club.
Bro, I was excited. I thought this was gonna be so different.
Yeah, me too, boo. It threw us all off to the curb, no
Yeah,
offense.
yeah. You were recording?
Yeah.
We said a lot of
No,
good things,
we said a lot of good things. Can we
but
retract back? Hold on.
no, I
Yeah.
started off by saying I have nothing good to say about this book. The only thing I will say is that I simply do not recommend it to anybody because it's just very disgusting and dehumanizing to the women. Very repetitive. And Raquel,
Yeah.
you said something about that.
In the times that we are dealing with right now, after the 2 days that, we have just passed in November, this is how up the world is, bro. I'm not saying everyone or every man in the world is up, but the fact that the world really do this is just horrific, honestly.
All I must say is going off of what Raquel said, no matter politically how you choose to go about, no
Choose.
one is
Hmm.
judging here who you choose to go about. I'm not judging. That's your point of view. There should be no excuse, no idolizing of any sort for someone to do something so vile and nasty to another human being. No
Is
idolizing of like vile human activities at
Yeah,
all.
treating women as your possession is
Yeah.
Disgusting.
absolutely disgusting. It's inexcusable.
And using someone else to excuse that or whatever it is that people do, there should be no idolization of that.
Do you guys think men should read this book?
It might help some see the damage they do. Men should look at this as like, what if your family member went through this? Be more open-minded to how women deal with life itself and how scary it is out here to even walk down the street, by the way. Freaking crazy that we have to live to that.
My mind goes to some sick men. If they read this, they're gonna get ideas on how to
That's
do
true
things.
too. Like I'm thinking of it as more of a positive way for men to
Yeah,
be more aware, but that's true too.
there are definitely other better ways for them to get more educated on the topic than this book. Because this book just exploiting the idea. I don't think they're actually gonna learn much by reading it. If anything, it might do more harm than good. That's just my opinion. Not saying all men are terrible. If you want to get educated on abuse, what women deal with,
Go through, yeah.
find other source materials.
I definitely agree with what both of you said. That's why I asked the question. You know, it has its positive and negatives and all over the place.
Okay, let's take a deep breath.
Yes, it's getting so dark in here. We are talking about life.
Are you guys curious, like, how Reina's life went about after?
On the PDF version, towards the end of the book, there's a little section where the author's like, if you want to learn more about Reina's story, here's a link to that. And she wrote a short story called After Dark, where it's just about Reina. So if you're curious, you could read that. I could
You
send
read
you
it?
a
You read
link.
it?
No, I didn't get to read it yet.
Do you guys feel like the author hopefully will give some positivity after all the cloudiness and the darkness?
I feel like it, hearing that the title for that story is After Dark, because we
It was
kind of saw like a glimpse of what Reina was like at the end of the book. She didn't seem broken and defeated and all of that. She
Mhm.
seemed a lot happier, more positive.
Is it a bracelet or a necklace that they both had? Was it
It
right?
was
Right?
a bone charm, I think.
It was a bunny, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. That made me cry at the end. This woman literally found her soulmate after this.
Okay. The book cover. Let's take a deep breath and talk about how deceiving this book cover is because
Did you guys
Guys, the
think that
book.
it was gonna be a mystery ghost thriller or something like that?
I
Like,
thought it
did
was
you
gonna
guys
be
get that
I
feeling?
thought it was yeah, I
yeah,
thought we were gonna find a murderer.
I'd never even like read the back of the book, even though I suggested us to like read this. I only saw the cover and I'm thinking like, okay, this might be a good read. Crazy how it throws you off, right? Like this is not the house that was being described in the fucking book. Let's just put it this way.
Bro,
This house, it looked like a whole modern house, bro. But as you get into the book, I'm just thinking like this house is definitely not modern. It's not happy. It's nothing, bro.
looking at this book, it gives me ghost vibes. The
Yes,
colors that
thank
they
you. Me
use,
too.
the
It gave
font.
Twilight vibes.
Yeah,
yes, if we read a book like Twilight,
maybe you could pick a book like Twilight.
I'm thinking we is in a lodge, a nice lodge, like in a nice cabin home, right? And then we're playing murder mystery, but there was an actual murder. That's the vibe it gave.
This book
Yes.
cover does not fit the story.
And this is why y'all should never just go for the cover. Y'all have to read the back too. No offense, people. Whoever thinks of reading this book,
Be like aware of some very
yes,
dark things, and if you're ready to
very
do it,
dark,
go
very
ahead.
violent.
Always look up the trigger warnings. I
Oh
did
yeah,
not.
for
I
sure.
did not,
There
clearly.
was
I'm very sorry for my sisters because I made them read this book thinking I honestly thought it was going to be a murder book too.
Moving forward, though, let's bring up trigger warnings. Just
Definitely.
look them up and then
oh, let
mention
me look
them
it
in
up
the
right now
reading.
then.
All right, Rasil, please announce
We'll have to look it up.
November's book.
So the
Fine.
book is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. The trigger warnings that contain violence, including point blank shootings, bloody wounds, bombings, torture, physical combat. It's like a French girl. Her name is Mary, and she escapes Paris with her father as the Nazis invade.
Did they
To
make a movie out of this?
yes,
Oh,
it was
there's
on
a
Okay,
Netflix.
hold on.
movie?
It's on Netflix. If you guys want to see it, also it's a Netflix show. It's only 4 eps.
Maybe I'll watch it after I read it. What
Uh,
made you choose this book?
Actually, Izzy helped me because she's been wanting to read it, and I'm like, I was curious. and it's things that I like.
Yeah, I'm excited for it because it's been on my
Uh,
list for a bit. I just haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I'm like, we will tell Mona about this as well. So I think she will like this actually.
Yeah,
But we
I
spoke
told,
about every
Definitely.
book, so I don't know.
And then we're screwed up.
I feel like we jinx ourselves.
Okay,
I
let's
know,
just be
right?
hopeful. We're gonna be hopeful. We thought the last one wasn't gonna get worse, and then today
We're
one was
all traumatized.
we're not catching break.
After this, I'm gonna try to take it easy, guys.
I think it's gonna be good. I think it might just give perspective on some historical events. Other light we cannot see is the next one, guys. We will see you when we see you.
So, thank you so much for joining, guys. That's it for today's R²MCK Pooks Books. Keep reading.
We'll see you.
In November's chapter. Woohoo!
Bye bye. Thank you so much, guys.
See you guys. Oh! Okay.